Good morning. Better, but still no good. But a little bit better. I'd feel a lot better if my throat would quit hurting. No, Charlie. No. Go on. Good morning. So coffee talk might not be as long as it usually is, but I at least wanted to show up for a little bit and teach y'all a little bit about something that I really liked that I learned. And I ain't got to put the notes in my Bible yet, so I thought that this would be like a good opportunity to do so. Good morning. I'm feeling all right. Yes. Oh, don't you worry me. Warmth has been helping the throat. I don't know. I've been drinking that tea too. That sore throat tea stuff. I'm telling y'all. Oh, it's been kind of rough. I am gonna... Yep, I've actually been putting real honey in it. I have been taking some medicine and drinking the tea. I don't feel as bad today as I did yesterday. Yesterday it hurt to move. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But it hurt to just like bend down and pick something up. Oh, it was rough. But today that don't feel as bad. But my throat is still hurting. I don't know. I still ain't feeling 100%. I'm going to try to have an easy day and just stay away from the shop and everything because I don't want to get nobody else sick. Honey, she said she would be here by 9. So make sure that you get that taken care of. Oh, I bet that is good. Good morning. So I just thought, I'm not feeling good, but I thought I learned something yesterday. So I've been trying to catch up on my reading because I got a little bit behind. So hopefully today I can do that while I'm taking, it easy today. I got to finish Hope Box cards. So that's, going to be something that takes me most of the day. And then I can get caught up on my Bible study and then just rest so that I can do my live tonight in my membership. I told Steve that I needed a sub teacher for when I got sick. I said, I need a sub, man. How do you get a sub? I need a sub. Like, I was like, I'll give you my notes and everything. I told Steve that I would give him my notes and all the things that he had to get on there and teach, and I would just participate. I don't think that's going to happen, but I tried. I tried real hard. I was like, I love it. You could be their teacher for one night. It's just one night. I can't. I'm like, I need a sub. Okay, so what I want to talk about is Genesis 35, 1 through 15 this morning. Special edition of Coffee Talk with Steve. Yes. See, they're telling you it's going to be a good idea. You should do it. I'll give you my notes and everything. Oh, it hurts. Teresa, I'm good. I'm all right. My throat hurts really bad. But otherwise, like, I don't feel as bad as I did yesterday. Coffee Talk probably won't be as long as it usually is, but I still just wanted to show up and teach you a little bit if I could. And then, rest for the rest of the day until tonight, until membership time. Okay, we're going to be in Genesis 35, 1 through 15. I know we've already read this, but I really, really want to talk to you guys about this because it is so good. So I don't just have a Tony Evans commentary. I have a Tony Evans study Bible. And a Tony Evans study Bible, okay, is a lot like the commentary, but it has little, questions wrote throughout it. And it's even got, little, digging deeper sections, so to say. So I really wanted to read y'all what it said about Bethel, and I love this so much. So I know it's, a little bit behind in our yearly reading, but I'm going to get caught up, and then we're going to be good for tomorrow night. But Genesis 35, 1 through 15 is what we're going to be talking about. I love that. I love it. I love the study Bible. It's really good. I got to record a TikTok today because somebody asked me what a study Bible was. So I'm going to show them this one. Okay, are y'all ready? First off, do y'all remember reading? We talked about it here on Coffee Talk about Bethel. When Jacob, let's see, where was it? Give me a second. Oh, my throat hurts. Okay. Okay, so we talked about it in Genesis 28, right? Verses 10 through 22. Jacob had left home, right? He had left home and found himself in Bethel, and he didn't have anything. He left with a walking stick, right? He didn't have nothing, and he ended up laying down and resting his head on this rock, right? We are in Genesis 35. Good morning. Okay, so he ended up laying his head down on this rock because that was all he had, right? He was already running, right? This started his running in his life. Jacob is going to do a lot of running, right? And then he had this dream, right? And he had this encounter with the Lord. And when he woke up, it changed his perspective of how he seen Bethel, right? So we took some notes and we said that he was now a fugitive, running and finding himself with only a rock to lay his head on. Well, then we also wrote that Jacob went from seeing a mess, okay, to God opening his eyes to a spiritual reality, right? And God showed up in that place and changed the way that Jacob saw his situation, right? And then Jacob heard the Spirit speaking to him, and the dark place he was in turned into a scarce one, right? Like turned into a sacred one. So I love that. So when he first met the Lord at Bethel, it was the Lord coming into his mess, right? When he first, and this is just so good. I'm going to tell y'all, it may not be a long coffee talk this morning, but this is some good stuff because I read it yesterday and I was like, oh yes. Feeling my spirit up while Kelsey not feeling good. I tell you what, it is so good though, but Jacob first met the Lord, all right, at Bethel, when he was running for his life. And it seemed really dark in his life. And it seemed really like it wasn't going to get better. And he had just deceived his brother and his father. And it was just this big old thing, right? This big old thing. So, in Genesis 35, we see him be called to go back to Bethel. Okay? And this is where it gets good. All right? So, the reason he gets called back to Bethel, all right, is they have got themselves in a bit of a predicament. All right? So, their daughter, or Jacob's daughter, he's only got one, has been, you probably can't say that word on the TikTok, defiled. Let's use it like that. And the man who defiled her is now like, oh, I love her. He's a sick individual, I'll tell you what. And then he wanted to marry her. Excuse me? I don't know. Okay, anywho, let's keep going. Well, Jacob kept silent, right? Oh yeah, Holly. Yes, it was a crazy story. It was. Jacob kept silent. Um, the sons got mad that their sister got defiled, right? So what did their sons do? Their sons wanted revenge. Well, their sons got revenge, I tell you what. But see, when they took revenge, they didn't just take revenge on the person who did bad. Their revenge went to a whole nother level. And they involved people that wasn't even involved in the first place, right? So they've got themselves into this predicament, okay? Because let's read why. I'll tell you why. Here's when Jacob realizes there's a problem. And this is going to be Genesis 34, verse 30. Afterward, Jacob said to Simon and Levi, you have ruined me. You have made me stink among all the people of this land, among all the Canaanites and Perizzites, I don't know. We are so few that they will join forces and crush us, right? So this is a predicament they're in. I will be ruined and my entire household will be wiped out. But why? And then they said, but why should we let him treat our sister like a prostitute? Well, don't know because I don't see that. They reported angrily, right? So that's the predicament that they're now in. Okay. Since the revenge was so mighty, right? And they destroyed, all these people and all these things, right? It has now created a larger problem. Okay, these people, there are so many, and Jacob is so few, okay, that if they decide to come for revenge, they're going to kill them all, right? They don't have a big enough army to defeat them, okay? So I hope that makes sense. So let's see what happens again. He is going to get taken back to Bethel, and this is where it gets good. So we're going to read it first. But then I'm going to read you my little insert because I'm telling you what, this is good stuff. All right. So, Genesis 35, verse 1. Then God said to Jacob, get ready and move to Bethel and settle there. Okay? Build an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother Esau. So Jacob told everyone in his household, get rid of all your pagan idols, purify yourselves, and put on clean clothing. We are now going to Bethel, where I will build an altar to the God who answered my prayers when I was in distress, right? He has been with me wherever I have gone. So they gave Jacob all their pagan idols and earrings, and he buried them under a great tree near Shechem. I'm not sure. As they set out a terror from God spread over the people in all the towns of the area so that no one attacked Jacob's family. So God was looking out for him too. Eventually, Jacob and his household arrived at Luz, which was Bethel. Remember, he changed the name, in Canaan. Jacob built an altar there and named the place El Bethel, which means God of Bethel, because God had appeared to him there when he was fleeing from his brother Esau. Soon after this, Rebekah's old nurse, Deborah, died. She was buried beneath the oak tree in the valley below Bethel. Ever since, the tree has been called, I have no idea how to say that word, which means oak of weeping. Now that Jacob had returned from Padaram, God appeared to him again at Bethel. God blessed him, saying, your name is Jacob, but you will not be called Jacob any longer. From now on, your name will be Israel. So God renamed him Israel. Then God said, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. You will become a great nation, even many nations. Kings will be among your descendants, and I will give you the land I once gave to Abraham and Isaac. Yes, I will give it to you and your descendants after you. Then God went up from the place where he had spoken to Jacob. Jacob set up a stone pillar to mark the place where Jacob had spoken to him. Then he poured wine over it as an offering to God and anointed the pillar with olive oil. And Jacob named the place Bethel, which means house of God, because God had spoken to him there, right? That is some good stuff. All right, but now let me read y'all this, because this is good. This is where we got to take the notes. This is it. So, when God becomes real to you again is what Tony Evans described this as. This is good. And when I read this, I knew the exact place he was talking about in my life. So let's see if y'all do too. Not throat be hurting. Okay. In Genesis 34, Jacob's sons had just put the family at great risk, okay, by attacking the entire city to avenge the people who defiled, because I can't say that word, their sister. Jacob knew his entire household was in danger of a return attack. The family crisis had grown too big to handle, and the mess had no visible solution. The whole family was on the verge of being turned upside down. I bet your family has been in that situation before, right? Oftentimes, God does not show up until things are at their worst, because it is then that he has our attention. As long as we think we can handle it, fix it, or work it out, he waits. But when we admit we no longer know the solution, he shows up. Ain't that good? I'm going to tell you what. That right there is good enough story. But let's keep going because it gets better. We are reading in Genesis 35, but I'm reading out of a study Bible. God told Jacob, get up, go to Bethel, and settle there. Build an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother Esau. There at Bethel, God met Jacob again. 20 years earlier, Jacob had seen a stairway between heaven and earth there, with angels going up and down it. At Bethel, Jacob had seen heaven connect with earth. Ain't this good? Your personal Bethel is a place where God becomes real to you again. That place where the Bible becomes so alive that you know God is talking to you. Bethel is where God works out circumstances in your life in such a way that leaves you wondering what you were ever concerned about. Bethel is a place where God meets you intimately and transforms you into a different kind of person that you've ever been. And as a result, where you once were known for being mean, now you are known for being nice. Where you were once known for being strong-willed, now you are known for being submissive. Where you once were known for the lack of leadership, now you're known for godly leadership. Bethel is the place where God fixes you so that you can flourish in life. You can flourish in the life he has in store for you. I love that. And that's what we're going to write that down. God turned things around for Jacob so that he brought him and his brother back together. He restored his family. He gave Jacob a heritage that blessed the world through his son Joseph, who provided food during a time of nationwide drought and famine. God can do similar things for you if you will arise and go where he wants each of us to go, to Bethel. To get there, you need to seek to know him, because in knowing him, you'll find true and lasting revival. I love that. That is so good. Like, what? I still got some. I mean, maybe not a lot, but some. Like, did y'all like that? I know exactly where my Bethel was. Like, reading that, the very first thing, like, where God met me in my mess was in that little trailer. Like, I don't know what he's doing. He's doing something. This is a Tony Evans study Bible. But that is so good. Like, when I was reading that, the place where God met you again, where he became real to you again, I immediately thought of that little trailer, because that is where he met me. That's where he became real to me at again. That's where he changed me into, that's where he did this exact line. Bethel is a place where God fixes you so that you can flourish in the life he has stored for you. Like, that's exactly what happened to me there. And I don't know about y'all, but I've experienced that place, and I'm telling you, and that must be why it talks to me so much. And if you ain't experienced that place yet, then you want to. You need to figure out where it is. Because this is a whole nother type of experience. I mean, for real. And I can't really describe it to you unless you've been in that. Because that place will change you. And I don't know. I never thought about it like that when I read it. But it will change everything about you. It is so good. And if you ain't ever experienced that, then you really want to. You really want to, because it'll change everything about you. It will change just everything. The way you walk, the way you talk, your life. When you leave there, you will not be the same person you went in as. And that's what happened to me at Bethel, at my Bethel, right? I'm telling you what. This is some good stuff. Hagar, I love that. Yes, she is such an inspiration for a single mom, for sure. She is. Genesis is so good. And people think that it's just as boring, but it's not. It's really not. It's really not. It is good. It is so good. Okay, I'm going to take a couple of notes because I didn't get to do that yesterday. I'm really hot. But, like, I don't feel hot. I feel hot, but I'm not hot.
Leave that open?
Yeah, leave that open. Yeah. Is it cold out there? Yeah. Yeah, leave it open. So this isn't a commentary, so say this is just a study Bible. It is a Tony Evans study Bible, where your reading is in there, and then it's got like notes at the bottom. But everything is linked in my bio, all the things that I use when I study. Okay, so let's see how I want to do this. So first off, I think I'm going to create me some of my little bracket things around this whole story. So I'm just going to like set this story apart so that it is something that sticks out. All right. And then for the whole thing, I'm going to write that one thing. I got to get me some new pens. All right. So I'm going to write Bethel. I'm going to write it how he said it. Is the place where God fixes you so that you can flourish in the life he has stored up for you. I tell you what, that's some good stuff. I just can't. The way I hold my pen. It is. That one note that I just wrote is going to be for the entire section because it's about the whole story, right? It is about the whole story. We're going to read some more of the commentary, though, and we will talk about it. But that is like the main gist of that whole section right there. I hope that makes sense. How do I write this? So for verses 1 and 2, for verses 1 of Genesis 35, you might have to use a sticky note. I'm not going to. I'm going to squeeze it in, but you might have to use a sticky note for this. But I'm going to write, God called Jacob back to the place he had first met him. And that's for verse 1. God called Jacob back to the place he had first met him. And you know what brings, I just want to say what that makes me think of. It's not that Jacob was off track, so to say. Maybe a little bit. His sons definitely were. They had created a big old mess. But how often is it our fault that we created a big old mess in our life? And when we do that, God calls us back to the place where we met him the first time. And I think that is so good. I get my commentary from all sorts of places. I own a whole bunch of, that makes me so happy. I'm so glad you loved it all. I use a whole bunch of different commentary, but lately on our Coffee Talks, I have been using either a Tony Evans commentary or a Tony Evans study Bible. But I have lots of commentaries on, the whole bookshelf is full of commentaries. But the commentary is really great. But so is the study Bible. I highly suggest, the more I think about it, to be honest with y'all, if you've never owned a study Bible, you need to. And I would get me a study Bible before I got me a commentary. Simply because if you've never used one, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot, and there's a lot of information there, and if you're not willing to dedicate at least an hour to studying, then that commentary is going to sit on your bookshelf, and you're never going to use it. Because when I study daily, and, I mean, granted, I teach, so I'm going to do that, but when I study daily, I spend hours reading the Bible and reading commentary. So I love commentary. It's a great resource, especially if you're wanting to dig in. But if you are not going to be willing to set aside a time to actually study what it says, then you're not ever going to use your commentary. It is, because it's a lot. I mean, some of it's on verse by verse stuff. It could take you hours to get through commentary of just one chapter. So I do recommend a study Bible before you do a commentary. And again, like I said, and this is, the Tony Evans Study Bible is just like, his commentary. It just don't got as much, but let me show you. So, like, that was the little insert. But, like, all of this is your reading, and then down here, it's notes that goes along with this, right? And it helps you learn. And I suggest starting there because you could still spend about 30 minutes a day in your Bible and read, what's at the bottom and get a deeper understanding, but it also not take you an hour to 2 hours to study, right? It's like an all-in-one. It's all in one place. So I highly recommend that. Aw, Amy. That is so sweet. Y'all are so sweet. I love that it's helping you. And listen, if you want to see if you're going to like commentary, y'all, I used Enduring Word for at least a year. My whole first year studying the whole Bible. I used Enduring Word before I dug into a whole bunch of different commentaries. And now I buy a whole bunch of them. But I didn't always do that. So I used Enduring Word first because it's a free resource. I definitely feel like that's where you should start. But again, if you use Enduring Word, still probably going to take you at least an hour and 30 minutes to do Bible study every day. I really like Tony Evans. He's become one of my favorites. I got a couple of other favorites. Yeah, see, a Bible Gateway app has a free commentary. I suggest using those because they're all good. They're all going to teach you something before you get like head first into buying commentary that might just sit on your bookshelf. And it is, I just highly suggest that if you've never owned a study Bible, get one of those first, then like level up to a commentary. Yep, but you do spend an hour every day. Yep, you'll have to. You'll have to. I do multiple chapters a day with commentary. I at least spend 2 hours, at least, at minimum, and that's just for the first part of my day. The second part of my day, I spend another 2 hours when I am doing my membership stuff. So, like, I spend a lot of time in my Word. I didn't know that she was Tony Evans' daughter, because I like her too, but I did not know that. You learn something new every day. I did not know that I like her too. I thought I spilled my coffee. Honey, could you like come warm this up? It's no longer warm and no longer help in the throat. Yeah, she does. I like her Bible studies. I've done some of them. I am still not feeling great, but feeling good enough to show up, and my throat is still hurting. I'm just going to try to, I got a lot of like office tasks to do today. I'm just going to do those and try to avoid everybody. And try to avoid everybody and just... Thank you.
Would you like a splash of honey?
No, I would not. I would kind of like it to be refilled, though. Are you talking about, like, where we're talking about Priscilla? How do you say it? Let's see, it's Priscilla. How do you say her last name? Shiner? I don't know how to say it, but she has a lot of great studies. The first verse? Do you mean the first note? We got to finish our notes here. I sure hope I feel better by tomorrow. Oh, I hope she feels better. I know some of this. Listen, I was studying Samson last night. My son came in there and was like, Mom, who's the guy who was like super strong and, you know, and all this? And I was like, that was Samson. And we did like a little study on Samson with Ethan, and it was so good. I was like, oh, I knew Samson's story, but man, it was good. He's a good person to study. Charity, what you mean? I'm going to have to message you after this. Because what you mean? Yes, that is Tony Evans' daughter. I never knew that. I did not. Oscar, get out of there. Thank you very much. Okay, hold on here. Okay. My, glands hurt so bad. Okay. Let's see, what else was I going to write down? Hold on now. All right, here we go. I'm going to read some of this. And we're going to get some more notes in before we get off of here this morning. All right. Yep, we're going to see what this says. Are y'all ready? I love that. Samson's good. Samson, it's good. It's also a pretty epic story. It's in Judges. If y'all want to go read it, it's Judges 13, 14. Right? Yeah, 13, 14, 15, and 16, I think, is his whole story. It's really good. Really crazy, but really good. That's what I was thinking. Just make sure it's not strip. Samesies. Charity, I'm gonna text you when I get off of here, girlfriend. I'm gonna text you when I get off of his. You be going through it, sis. Ooh, that's gonna spill everywhere. Oh gosh, that's hot, but oh, so nice. Oh, that feels good on the throat. Okay. All right, let's see what some of this. I'm going to show you an example of like this is what the study Bible says about what we read, okay? We study the Bible on here. We're in Genesis 35. Okay. Y'all, I feel like we be under attack or something. I tell you what. We're going to have to rebuke Satan. I'm telling you what. No. We don't have time for this. We don't got time for this. Okay. Alright, so here's what the study Bible says about what we just read, okay? Get up, go to Bethel, and settle there. God's timing is never accidental. He spoke to Jacob in the middle of a family crisis because he knew Jacob was desperate enough to listen. Ooh. So sometimes we got to get desperate enough to be able to listen because God has been trying to tell us things and we won't listen because we still think that we can fix it. I can still fix this. I can still figure out how to do this. But it's when we become so desperate and we have nowhere else to turn to. That's when we finally listen to the Lord. Steve said the other day, and it's really stuck with me. He said, you know what? I said, what? He said, those Israelites literally seen the Lord part the waters. He said, and they still didn't believe. I said, well, most likely you have seen the waters part in your life, and you still doubt him sometimes too. Like all of us do. Every single one of us. And we become the people, just like Jacob, who think, I can fix this. I can fix this on my own. I can do this. I can figure this out. When in reality, you're not supposed to figure it out by yourself at all. But you are so stuck on trying. I want to try to figure it out on my own. See, that's one of the biggest shifts that I made in my life. I don't want to figure it out on my own. No, thank you. The Lord can figure it out for me. I would much rather not. Right? It's one of the biggest things that I lean on is I don't worry about nothing. I don't worry about nothing. I just go with the flow. Because he's got this. All I got to do is sit back and do what he tells me to do. But I don't have to act like I know how to do his job because he knows how to do his job. I just got to do what he calls me to do. That's it. The rest of it, he's got it handled. He's got it all figured out. I don't wait until I find myself in such a mess that's when I allow him in. But see, that's one of our biggest problems. The Israelites have done it over and over and over and over and over again. They got themselves, they spent... I'm not listening to the Lord. I'm not listening to the Lord. I'm not listening to the Lord. And got themselves in a deeper and deeper and deeper hole until they physically could not come out of that hole without calling on the Lord. Right? You see, we'd quit finding ourselves in those situations if we would just call on him in the first place. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you don't got to put yourself in the depths of a hole before you call on him. You can actually call on him before you go into that hole. Right? He will listen when you're ready to give it to him. But until you're ready to wholeheartedly hand it over, he's not going to take it from you. You got to be wholeheartedly ready to hand it over. Yes, I love that. Yes, I love that. That's good. It appears Jacob experienced a personal revival. I love those. Which spilled over into a family revival. In Jacob's revival, we see the 3 steps that anyone should follow when returning to God. First, he said, get rid of the foreign gods among you. For the last 20 years, apparently, Laban's idols had been stashed in Jacob's household. It was time to make a clean break from them. Second, purify yourselves. This is an extension of the first point. Remove the sin from your midst. And third, change your clothes. Changing garments symbolizes a re-anointing of life. For instance, when a judge puts on his robe, he's not an ordinary man anymore. He has authority. I like that. Oh, that from verse 2? So Jacob told everyone in his household, get rid of all your pagan idols, purify yourself, and put on clean clothing. That's good. I might have to get me a sticking over that. A sticking over that one, I'll tell you what, that's some good stuff. Hold on. Well, you want to hold it? No, we'll just put it. Okay, we're just going to put it in there. You might not need the whole thing. All right, that is good. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to write my hair. All right, I'm going to write, what in the world? I got to order me some new pens. All right, coming back to the Lord. Number 1. Get rid of the foreign gods, right? And you say, Kelsey, I don't got any of those. Listen. In their day, it was because Rachel had stolen that little household idol thingy-mabob that Laban wanted back so bad, but Rachel stole it. If y'all been reading, y'all know what I'm talking about, all right? So maybe that's what he was talking about, but I want to urge you that there might be something in your life that you are that you are harboring, and maybe you don't worship it, okay? But it's got a hold on you, okay? And sometimes that can look like finances, anxiety, depression, those type of things that you've got to put off, all right? The foreign gods. I like it, Holly. That's good. Alcohol, yes, that's a good one. Yes. So something that you worship, and I know that like it, and it don't mean that like you don't believe in God, like you're worshiping like a trinket, whatever. Okay, it's not always that. It could be alcohol. It could be something that is holding you captive, right? Something that is keeping you entangled in sin, right? So first, you got to get rid of those things. And then you got to purify yourself. If this pen don't work, all right, here we go. Listen, pen, I just need you to work for like the rest of the day until Amazon gives me some more pens. All right, purify yourself is removing sin from your life. There is something hindering your relationship with the Lord. Identify and get rid of it. And number 3, I'm going to write exactly what it said. Change your clothes. Right? Changing your clothes means changing who you are, right? You're not the same person when you walk around with the Lord on your side. You'll never be the same person again when you walk around with the Lord on your side. Yes, that's every even God. Yes. All right. I love that. That's good. That goes with verse 2. I love that. That's some good stuff right there. All right, we got a little bit more. coming back to the Lord. Number 1, get rid of the foreign gods. Number 2, purify yourself. Remove sin from your life. And number 3, change your clothes. Oh. Okay, she got it. All right, let's finish reading this out. And then it only talks about verses 4 through 5. We can open the commentary to read the rest. A few verses earlier, Jacob cowered in fear because of what his enemies might do to him. But then he set out for Bethel, and suddenly a terror from God came over the cities around his family. What changed? Jacob had stepped up to be the leader God called him to be. The same people he had been fearing turned to run, right? That's good. God protected him. I like that. That's some good stuff. But as you see, that is all that a study Bible would tell you, right? Which is a good amount. You learned something. The goal is to learn something. One new thing every single day. And then whatever you learn, apply it to your life. It's doing you no good if you're not applying it to your life when you're studying it. You can have all the knowledge of the Bible in the world, and if you're not applying what you learned to your life, then it's doing you no good. At all. Just zero good. Okay? Studying the Bible isn't just enough. You have to apply the aspects to your life. We will be praying for you. Thank you.
Do you need some peppermint in your thing?
I think I'm alright. I ain't gonna be on here much longer. Talk about what it means in modern day life to change your clothes. So, put off your old self and put on your new self. Right? You're not the same person anymore. Sometimes when the Lord meets us, we can go through a lot of like life experiences, right? And then we backslide. And sometimes we fall back into the things that tripped us up the first time, right? Does that make sense? And when we do that, you know, we are taking ourselves further and further away from the Lord, right? But coming back to Bethel means that we are coming back to meet him. We are going to change our clothes back into the person that we changed into when we met him in the first place, right? We are going to take off our old ways, our old sinful ways, the things that we wasn't willing to give up, we are now going to give up, right? And we're going to go back and meet him where he met us. Because listen, I think that's the biggest misconception about God. You know, we stand and we say, well, why did God allow this to happen? Why did he do this in my life? When you see the reality is this is God and this is you. And at one point, y'all were like this. Y'all were in communication. Y'all were really close and in communication, and you were doing good. But see, God never left you. He never went this way and walked away. See, what happens is you walked away from him. Something over here looked shiny, and you just... So he stays here, and he waits for you to come back, right? Because you have free will to do what you want to do, right? So he's going to stay here and wait for you to come home, right? So he called him back to Bethel. It's not literally changing clothes, no. Now, in that day, it would have been. Because they were probably all like super filthy. They didn't live like we live today, right? Like they lived in tents and whatnot and different things, right? Like things were different. So he wanted them to be their best, look their best, right? Yep, could be changing the way you're dressed if you're convicted on it. Yeah, he did it for you, not to you. Yes, and I love that. But And that's what I'm saying. It's all about the way you look at things. And God never left you. You probably run from him, right? And it's time to come back to Bethel, right? It's time for you to come back to meet him again, right? Because you need to get rid of the things that are holding you back. And you need to take off that old self and put on the new. And you need to go back and meet him where you met him the first time. Yep, I love it. All right, let's see. Let me see here. This is 35. All right. All right, so see, now this one is going to go into the rest of it. 6 through 15. That would be the last one for this. When Jacob arrived and built an altar at Bethel, God appeared to Jacob again and blessed him. The blessing and promise are nearly identical to those given to Jacob when he first arrived at Bethel. Jacob would be fruitful and multiply into an assembly of nations, and that would inherit the land. Most importantly, God would repeat the promises to change Jacob's name to Israel, a symbol of new identity and a new direction. God had not changed. Lost my place. God had not changed. The promise had only laid dormant. The promise had laid dormant. Oh, okay. Until Jacob returned to a place where God could pull it off. Okay. I like that. That's good. So Jacob had to come back to Bethel. It was the only way for him to activate the promises that God wanted to give him. He had to change. Because up until this point, he's been a runner and a deceiver and all of these things. I'm definitely praying for your marriage. I know that he can heal it and change it. Well, I'm just going to let you know right now, you can't fix him. It's not your job. It's not your job to fix him. And you'll never be able to fix somebody who isn't ready to be fixed. Well, you're going to be praying, though. I'm all right. I'm feeling all right. I ain't feeling great, but, I'm all right, I think. Potentially. I don't know. Well, that's a him problem. And he's going to have to try to fix those things. You're not going to be able to do it for him. But we will be praying for it. But I do know that God can fix it. Do lots of prayer. Lots of prayer. And self-reflection. And, what can you do better? And do those things better. I talk about marriage a lot on these things, on Coffee Talk and whatnot. And me and my husband talk about it a lot. But we are going to be praying for you. And, you ain't going to be able to fix him, but you can change you. You can change you. Vitamin C, I need to take some of that. I think he shut that door, but I'm in here. I'm burned up. But I'm not really. That's some good stuff. Let's see. I'm going to do my highlighting right here. I got to finish up all my reading today. But wasn't that good? So simple. And yet, So good. So simple and yet just so good. All right, let's see. Then it'd be this one. All right. I've got it. Well, and I got to finish. I got to do my studying all the way. Hold on. What's today even, my friends? Today's the 16th. Yep. I got to finish all this. Lord. I did all of this yesterday. Hold on. Yep. I done all this yesterday. And now I got to do it again. I didn't necessarily take a note for 6 through 15. But you could if you wanted to. Hold on. I'll read you what it says, and you can formulate a little notesy note. When Jacob arrived and built an altar in Bethel, God appeared to Jacob again and blessed him. The blessing and promises were nearly identical to those given to Jacob when he first arrived at Bethel. Jacob would be fruitful and multiply into an assembly of nations and would inherit the land. Most importantly, God repeated his promises to change Jacob's name to Israel, a symbol of new identity and a new direction. God had not changed. The promise had only laid dormant until Jacob returned to a place where God could pull it off. So potentially Jacob had to be, the Lord had to get Jacob to a certain place in his life before he could fulfill the promises he had given him. Thank you. Yep, God's timing. Yeah, I like that. That is a commentary, the Tony Evans commentary. I'm just going to rest and do office work today and hopefully just feel better and, yeah. And hope I feel even better now. Usually I don't ever get sick. So this is just, I tell you who I blame, Steve. I blame Steve because I laid in bed with him that day and he just coughed directly in my face. And now I'm sick. I said, bro, why you have to cough in my face like that? And now I'm sick. It's totally Steve's fault. It's always Steve's fault. It's Steve's fault. Steve gets everything. Why'd you have to cough right in my face, bro? Now, because I hardly ever get sick. For real. I maybe get sick once or twice a year. Like, seriously. I will. If I'm not feeling good enough to do Zoom, we definitely will. I'm going to try to talk Steve into being a sub. I'll give him all of my notes and I'll participate. It's funny. But if I just rest for the rest of the day and just do some like office work and rest for the rest of the day, if those children will allow, that's the hard part right there. If the children will allow. Hopefully I should be feeling better. I mean, I do feel better today than I did yesterday. Yesterday, my whole body hurt. I'll tell y'all what. It hurt for my children. Like, my daughter came up to me and just touched me. And I was like, oh, like, it hurt to be touched. I was like, geez, like, what is this life? So, I am. Most definitely. I don't know. I don't know if I do or not. Oh, I need some third ideas if you have any. I will see if I do. I'm not good with shirts. I don't know if I have the flu. I don't know if I have anything. I have no clue. I've also not taken a COVIDical test. Get the note. Vicky, you want me to post my notes for the Hebrew word? I have one. I just haven't taken it yet. Yeah, the last time I've had COVID and I hardly ever get the flu. But when I did, the flu was worse than COVID for me. COVID didn't do nothing for me except just make me like really tired. That's it. That is funny. Thank you. Nobody else feels bad. Me and Steve haven't felt great, but nobody else really does. My children are A-okay. I tell you what, and I'm glad that they are. But I tell you what, they be thinking that Mama's okay, and Mama's not okay. Y'all need to chill. They have no idea what that word means. But right now, like, I feel a lot better today as far as my body feels fine. And I felt great Saturday. I don't know. But it's my throat. Like, my glands are swollen. And it is my throat. And I can't. So I'm just going to stay away from the shop today and let the girls take care of it. And I'm just going to stay away from them because I don't want them sick either. So I'm just going to stay out of the shop and let them do them so that they can work on things. No, my kids don't have school today. Spoonful of honey, I shall try it. Yeah, the flu's always worse on me. I don't know. Nope. As far as I know, there's no fever. I love that. We can't wait to have you in the membership. That'll be so much fun. I do have, so the lemon water and the honey, I bought, so like my throat hurts a lot, just like all the time, because of, where I like use my vocal cords a lot because I'm always on camera and then I teach my membership and stuff. So I had noticed that like it would hurt. So I ended up getting, these little tea bags that are for sore throat for people that like sing and stuff like that. And they're lemon and honey, and they're really good. So I've been drinking that, and that's been helping a lot. I love that. A bee in your hair, oh my goodness. Membership is $25 a month. And you get, there's 2 Zooms a week, 2 digital downloads a week, and a discussion every single week. So for $25, you are getting 2, 4, 6, 8 digital downloads a month, 8 Zooms, access to all the previous studies I've ever did, access to all the courses. I give my membership the courses that I create for free. So they get all of that. They get all the downloads that I create. So, like, you get it. If you was to go on my website and buy all my downloads that are just on there, you'd spend over $200. But there is a lot of downloads of my membership that aren't on my website at all. So, it's a lot. You get a lot. You also get a discount code for the website. It's awesome. And I make it very much so worth your while. Maybe strep. Yeah, I don't know. See, that's what it kind of felt like, strep, like an onset of strep. But I don't know. It don't feel like that now. But I don't know. I know I hate going to the doctor. Yes, the community is the best. I hate going to the doctor. I mean, like, why are you going to go and test me and tell me what I got, but then tell me you can't give me nothing? I'd rather not. I will only go if I think this is strep. Because that's the only thing that I need antibiotics if it's strep. But otherwise, I'm not going. Not going to go. Unless I think it's strep. I'm going to get Steve to keep an eye on my throat. But I really don't think that's what it is. I got strep a lot when I was a kid. So, like, I can usually tell when it is strep, if that makes sense. So, I don't think that's what it is. But I'm going to get Steve to, keep a look on my throat. But that's the only way I'll go. Is if I think strep. It's the only way. Only way. Yes. Yep. I was up doing that at 2 o'clock this morning. Warm water and salt. And my throat was hurting. Holly, so glad you got to spend time with your hubby. Oh, that's so sweet, Dina. Listen. I know, I gotta work on that too. I gotta work on the conference flyer. Cause that is launching this week. Like, hold up, wait a minute. Where's all this time going? I'm not ready. Like, this is so crazy. The conference is in Mount Airy, North Carolina, also known as Mayberry. I'm working on the hotel thing. I was supposed to meet with my friend on Wednesday. She was going to help walk me through all this. But I'm going to talk to her today, and hopefully I can just call while I'm not feeling good. It's a perfect opportunity to sit down and be on the phone. So, call and get those discounts for the conference. I have no idea what that is. So, I gotta get that done too. I got a lot on my to-do list. I need to go plan my whole day. Record some TikToks. I'm gonna take it easy today, but get things done. Y'all know I can't just sit around. I can't do that. I be trying so hard, but it don't work for me. I've got to move and do something. I'm going to try. If I get tired, I'll take a nap. But no promises, people. No promises. I don't know how to sit still. That is not in my vocabulary. I don't like it. Listen, Steve was watching me last night. I was sitting there, I was praying. And I was moving my lips and everything. I was just praying. And I look up and Steve's looking at me. I was like, I was praying for healing. Quit looking at me while I'm praying. Like, geez. Yes, the Zoom meetings are in the evening. They're at 7 p.m. on Monday and Thursday in the membership. But they're also recorded. So whatever you miss, you're able to go back and rewatch. I am. I promise. I'm going to sit in that chair right there that's all spun around to my children. I'm going to sit in that chair right there for the majority of the day. I promise. I got a lot of, like, computer work I can do. So I'm just going to sit in that chair with my heating pad. And I'm like, cut me on a TV show. And I'm going to work and just watch TV and sit with my heating pad and take medicine all day long. I promise. So every time before I do a Zoom, I post how to get into the Zoom. But then, if you will go to the courses, all the videos are in there. That makes me feel a little relieved. I promise. I'm going to sit right there all day and I'm going to chill. Yep. And eat unhealthy because all I really want is ramen because it's warm. And it's the worst thing, but I don't even care. Sunny D sounds good, though. Steve should go get me some of that. But I'm just going to try to stay away from everybody because I do not want my shop getting infected with my cooties. I don't want my girls getting sick because I be needing them. So I'm just going to stay away from everybody. And it's funny. We still have listen, I made them laugh so hard. I'll tell you this funny story before I get off here. I made them laugh so hard last night because they knew I didn't feel good. And I told them I'm just going to stay away from them just, to make sure I don't want them sick. Well, my office connects to my shop, okay? So we're going to keep that door shut. I said, well, if we need anything, when we bought this house, that door has a cat door. A cat door. At the bottom of that door. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I told them if we needed each other, we'll just pass things through the cat door. That's what we'll do. And she died. She thought that was the funniest thing ever. No, I'm going to finish uploading all of my coffee talks on YouTube today. It's also all the things that I can do while I'm sitting right here. Yep. Well, I haven't even been in the shop, so no germs in there. But I'm going to spray down my office even though I'm sitting in here. But not even going to talk to them today. I mean, might talk to them through the door, but they're not allowed to come in. Bless their hearts. Because I don't want to sit. So, but we have orders that need to get out. So, I'm going to let them do that. And I'm just going to, they can do it all on their own. They know how to run the whole shop all on their own. Haley'sTheBomb.com. She's got that whole thing under control in there. So, I'm just going to stay out of her way and not get her sick. Because I couldn't survive without her. She cannot get sick. There's no way I could survive without it. Oh, no. I'm going to be praying for you. That makes me so sad. I'm ready for warmer weather so that none of us get sick. All right, you guys. I love y'all so big. I'm going to go start on my to-do list. And Lysol everything before my girls get here. And make sure that everybody is good. I'm going to finish up my Bible reading. I got a TikTok I need to post. I got some things I need to record. And then I'm just going to sit my little booty down and do the office stuff that I can do. But as of right now, we are still most definitely going to have membership Zoom tonight. So, just so y'all know. I got Lysol spray, so. All right, I love y'all so big. I hope y'all have a fabulous day, and I will see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. All right, bye, guys.